All right, awesome. We will get started. This is a good group. Kind of fun. This is an interesting sequence where we're going to talk about team stuff, but not necessarily volleyball stuff. So I think today, the thing I really want to talk about and what's been on my mind, I've been watching a lot of film, obviously, and just watching the differences on the way some teams celebrate or not, or interact with each other or not. And so to start, I'm going to show a quick little clip, maybe. There it is. Of just some plays. Watch this guy celebrate. Can you guys see it?
Mm-hmm.
Can you guys
Yeah,
see
we can see.
Okay. Now, I have never seen anyone on any of your teams do that. Or like, I enjoy the sideline cheers.
Mhm.
Someone's phone keeps buzzing. If you could just turn off your mic. But this dude's obviously enjoying the game here. I want to see someone do that next time I watch you guys play.
Mhm.
Ashley, that's you right there. I want you doing that. Or Avery.
I don't think I can do that.
Well, you don't know.
Yes, you
Avery,
can.
you
Avery,
totally
do
should.
it.
We could find out.
I would love to see you do that on one of our games.
Okay, fine, I'll do it.
All right, cool.
Bet.
I want it on video too.
Okay.
And then the sideline, I mean, I don't know, the sidelines that are more involved, whether they're participating or just being weird like that, it seems to help, right? Nice. Oh, dude. Who's going to do that? Who's going to volunteer for that one?
I will.
All right. See what this dude does. That's so funny. They just won a point too. I love it. It's not the game. And I don't know if in some teams they have, I know in my conference they have like routines where, I mean, we do too. Like, I don't know if we block the ball, we go, ooh, block or whatever. I don't know. But some people get really into it. This should be good. I can't wait. Yeah, just something like that, just for the coming together. And so now, one of my favorite drills that I do in club and college is we'll have a drill. Courtney she's the craziest, I think. That's the girl right here. If you ever watch a USA volleyball game, you'll see her on every single play doing something weird. She is so much fun. That's her again. Right? Judge, that's you. You have to do that next time I see Judge. Okay, so one of my favorite drills is I have a hat, and in the hat I put in personalities of the player, and they have to pretend to be that personality. So, for example, in the first round I put in angry or nasty or sad or disappointed or hates her teammates, and that's a lot of fun because like you guys really get into that where they if someone makes an error, they yell at them, or they like refuses to go to the huddle in the middle. And it's so funny because they start to realize how much of an impact the way you respond really has an impact on your teammates. And so in the first round, I give them the personalities, and they have to pretend to be those. And in the second round, I give them partners, and they have to tell their partner which negative personality they have to be. And they often pick out personalities that are not them. So if someone's really bubbly, they'll say you have to be super depressed. Or if someone's normally very nice and supportive, they have to be, you cannot come to the huddles. You have to be nasty to your teammates. And they enjoy that. And then I tell them to pick the personality that they want to portray, or pick the personality that they think would most help their team. And it's really interesting what they pick. Setters often become super supportive and super encouraging of their teammates. And liberos become super confident and overly confident. They become like just this rock on the court, and outside hitters become like those terminators, the team that really wants the ball. And like, you know, this one particular outside hitter, she's like, you have to set me the ball every single time. I'm going to score you points. And it just showed them that they all developed this personality, and that their personality is a choice, I think, is the best way to say that, because we're not saying that you have to be like that all the time. And I think a lot of teams will also, a lot of players will be different personalities than they are normally. And that's just the kind of the freedom that they have. That's the safeness maybe that they have, that's a time where they can be a little bit different on the court. They're not in school, they're not at home, they don't have these expectations, but it's a really, really good opportunity to be a different personality. So anyway, with that in mind, I want to show a little bit of film from the 16s who are learning this process. And I say learning because we're definitely not good at it yet. So while we go through this, I'm going to kind of point out some things and go from there. So I don't want sound. Can you guys hear the sound, by the way? Can you guys hear the sound of the game?
Yeah.
Oh, you can? Oh, that's interesting. I couldn't get it to work the other day. Okay, so hold on a second. Let me fix the film. Okay, and what we're really paying attention here is, if you've been on a call with me earlier, we did the 18s from last year. And we talked about how they interacted between points and how they often spent a little bit more time. So we just won this point. And I think, look at the libero, first of all. You guys can chime in here. Does that look like a player who's excited, who wants to win this game?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and so now let's look at the response of the other players. Let's look at Serena, 26, the setter. What do you guys think of that? Does she want to win? I'm sure she wants to win, but does that show her teammates she wants to win? Watch her again. I'll back up. 26, the setter. What do you guys think? Is that a response you would want from one of your teammates?
Not like after you win a point, no.
What would you want? Would you want?
Like more like excitement and hype from her. Like.
Okay, good. Good. And then watch just any one of the other teammates. And I'll point a couple things out. Look at Tamaya right here. I don't know. We just want a point, guys. Look at Shay. Shay's the middle, turning around and trying to support her teammate. Right? And so I think the response, one, I think the libero's kind of engaged. The setter is maybe, but they're not getting the responses from the teammates that we want. And this is a big game for us, by the way. Okay. And now let's talk about the huddle. So I think the huddle is super important. As the more I coach, the more I realize, I guess, that how important this huddle is. Was that a good amount of time in the huddle, or would you like your teammates to spend more time in there? What do you guys think?
Maybe a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah, more time.
And what would you want to talk about? Like, if you could dictate exactly what happened in your huddle, what would you want to talk about in there? You just won the point. What would you want to talk about? Give me 3 examples. Someone go. Anyone go.
Like keeping the energy and staying connected as a team and not letting the other team in.
What does that look like? Like, what would you say? You're in your huddle, you just won that point, and your goal in that huddle is to keep the energy. What would you say to your team?
Like, that was a great job, like a great play. Let's keep it going and not
Nice.
like let them.
Good. Someone else give me another example. That's perfect. Give me another example of what you'd want to happen in that huddle. Don't make me call on you guys.
Like pointing out like the good thing that happened.
Okay. Would you do the same thing on a negative play? Would you point out the bad thing that happened?
I think you could talk about like still like what you did well,
but at the same time talk about like a resolution.
Perfect. I love it. I love it. And one more. Give me one more thing that you'd want to happen in that huddle.
Just like have really positive energy, like keep the positive energy and just like tell your teammates like how good they're doing and like how we could even possibly make it better. So
are you that person on your team?
Yeah, sometimes.
Why sometimes? Why not all the time?
I don't know. I mean, just like sometimes, I don't know like exactly what happened in the back row or not. So like, cause I'm front row. So I guess like I wouldn't really say that about the back row. Like I'd let somebody else, say what they needed to say.
Good. All right. So everyone think of their team right now. On your team, who is the kid who is the bringer of the energy? Who is the kid who brings the excitement? Is there someone on there? How many people do not have a kid that they can think of right off the top of their bat who's the bringer of the energy? Is there anyone, or maybe another question would be, does everybody have a kid who brings the energy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. On your team, now I want you to think of the kid who brings the energy down, whether they are always sad or whether they're very hard on themselves or hard on their teammates. Does everyone have a kid on their team who is constantly bringing the other teams down or the other teammates down? Yes or no?
Yeah. I mean, not necessarily like all the time, but there's definitely points where someone's always like, that's going to happen.
Yeah, like sometimes they'll have like their moment.
Or like negative energy.
Yeah, definitely.
Just kind of like, or sour grapes if someone plays their position or something like that.
Okay, explain, someone who said negative energy, explain that. What does that mean?
Sorry, I couldn't get it unmuted. Like if somebody's down or having a bad day, I feel like sometimes that can relate back to like core and like bring that negative energy onto the core. You know what I mean?
And you on that team, you can feel that negative energy from her,
Yeah.
right? Every time, no matter what.
It's like dragging the team down sometimes.
Okay, perfect. And give me two ways that you can help her through that.
I feel like just throughout the whole team, like more talk, and like if they do like something good, then like compliment them or like cheer them up,
Okay. So more talk. What else?
You can give them like confidence.
How do you do that? Are you a setter, by the way?
No, I'm a libero.
Okay. That's just as good. How do you give a teammate confidence?
I feel like after a play, once they feel like they like messed up, like you can obviously be like, hey, shake it off. You got the next one. Like give them that motivation to do better. Like they are that player. They're just as good.
Okay. So maybe another way to say that is like you still want to let that player know that you have trust in them.
Yeah.
Good. And the other phrase I really liked is someone said sour grapes. Who was that?
Hi, it was me.
All right. What do you mean by sour grapes?
Just kind of like, if there's multiple girls in a position, you can't all play at once. Like, if someone gets upset because they didn't get to play or something, like often you can see people on the side, like arms crossed, like a scowl on their face. And I'm guilty of this too. But I mean, I've noticed, like just kind of a lot of people will do it, and it only brings the team down.
Mm-hmm.
So it's never like actually, it doesn't do anything, and it doesn't make your coach want to play you either.
Good. Nice. So you said you're guilty of it too. Are you aware of that after you see other people do it, or are you aware of that when you're doing it?
I think after I've seen other people do it, so now I try not to do it anymore.
Okay, good. Nice. All right, let's watch another clip. That was good stuff, guys. Keep talking. All right, this is later in the game. Actually, that was the end of the game. We just lost the first game. Okay. Oh, this is the point now. All right, so we're back in this game. We're getting back to this game. And let's watch the demeanor of the players. Who's talking to each other? Who's not? Okay, good. We just lost the game. Watch the responses. A couple things I really want to point out is watch how we never really get into a huddle. You guys see that? See how the huddle was broken maybe? All right. And then in the second game, we came back and won it. So let's watch the response there. Like again, it's game point right now. How many people are talking to each other? Do you see Mariah in the middle right there?
Yeah.
Maybe a little talk going on over here. A little talk right there. That was good, but nothing going on in the back row. Oh, who's guilty of this? Who watched the dig from Mariah, the outside hitter, and watch her response immediately after the dig? Who does that? Who like visibly shows their frustration? Say yes or no.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Get to that in a second. Okay. Just won the second game. Do you see the difference in the huddle right there? Like, see how they all came together? They all like support each other. I think that's really important whether we win or lose. Okay. So back to that. Those of you who say that you visibly show your frustration during the play, how do you think that makes your teammates view your ability to play the next point?
Probably not as strong. Like you're not in the right mindset to make a good play.
Yeah.
Okay.
They probably doubt that you can actually do it next time, so it makes them uncertain of if they should like leave you to get the ball or something. Like in service eve, should they cut in front of you and take the ball or whatever, because they're not sure if you can do it.
Good. Anybody else? Okay. Now, by yeses, who is the energy bringer on their team? Or any of you, do you know that you're the energy bringer?
Yeah.
Who was that? Selma?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Why? Like, what about you does that?
I just feel like when I'm around my teammates, like I'm always so energized and I always want to like keep pushing, like have fun obviously when we're playing, but like not so like sometimes they can get frustrated and I want them to know like they don't have to be frustrated. We just have to play our game. So I get like really energized.
Good. Do you think your teammates respond to you when you're like that?
Yeah, I like can see it. It puts them in a better mood. Like they're smiling, which is great.
Good. Oh, I thought Iris was going to chime in. Anybody else? Who knows they're the energy bringer on their team? Okay.
I wouldn't say like all the time. I mean, sometimes like I feel like my team, we all have like our different points where we're the energy bringer at certain points. Like I know after every bad play, like I always like make contact with that player and I'm like, you got the next one. Like, don't let it get you down. Like just shake it off so that we're not in like a negative mindset for the rest of the game.
That's awesome. I love that. Why do you think you do it sometimes, not all the time? Or I like how you said, I also like how you said that it's, you don't do it all the time. Sometimes it's somebody else.
Like as a middle, like on my team, like I know I don't make the best plays all the time and like my sets aren't always the best sets, but like if I'm not doing good, my energy's not as high, which I know it should be. Like I need to like get out of that, but like it just depends on like how I'm playing. I feel like if I'm playing a decent game and I think I'm doing better, like I'm more likely to be more positive and uplifting towards the rest of my team and not like as angry at myself for not being able to make the plays.
Good. Very nice. All right. Who on their team do they know that they're the rock or the stable one or the one that people can turn to when things get tough? Is that nobody? That was awesome. Okay, good. So obviously, all right. So one of the things I'm going to ask you to do is next time you go to practice or next time you're in a game, to play this role. So if you know that your team doesn't have that stable force, and by the stable force, I don't mean the kid who's going to score the last point or score those, get us out of those tough rotations or whatever. I just mean the kid that people can count on to be stable, to be consistent, you know, whether it's consistently average or consistently below average, you're always going to, or consistently above average, you're always going to be that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So nobody feels like they're that kid on that team. Wow. That's crazy. Okay, good. So I think somebody has a new personality for the next time we play. All right. Next question is, who is the kid that's going to score the last point on your team? Who knows that they're the kid that's going to score? They're going to get the last set. You know, the team relies on them to be successful, whether it's a great pass, whether it's a great set, or whether it's a great hit.
Well, I know on my team we have a lot of good hitters.
Okay.
And so it could really be multiple people, not just really one.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, I agree with Dalen. It's like just kind of who's positive and like who's really like mentally there at the end of the game.
Like,
yes, like who's been on a roll, who's been getting those kills, who's had a good attitude, you know, who's really confident that they can get that last kill.
Yeah.
Iris, do you have something?
yeah, I feel like it like depends on the mindset the players are into. Like sometimes I'm that person. Like if I'm having a really good day with like hitting, like then I'll be that person. Like I know on my team last season, like when we got to Summer Soiree, like I had a really great game and I was the one that was constantly being set. But then there were other games where like our outside was swinging really good and that she was going to get the last set. And you wanted that set to go to her because she'd been putting balls away.
So for those of you that are saying like, yeah, when I'm on and I get the ball, how many of you guys have turned around to your teammate and says, I got this, give me the ball in some capacity?
I've done that sometimes.
I've done that.
Yeah.
I do, especially for like being a setter. Like I feel like people who like I could like definitely rely on, like I know they could get the job done. Like I try to tell them like the next ball is yours, you know.
Not perfect. Great. As a setter, yeah. Has anyone ever told you, Gracie, set me the ball?
I'm usually the one to tell
So
them. No, not really.
Okay. Any other setters? Have any players ever told you to set you the ball? Set them the ball.
Yeah.
Explain.
Well, like when we're kind of struggling, like when like for example, well, never mind, not for example, but like when we're struggling, when she knows, she builds up to her confidence, she like tells me to set her. So like I trust her, so I just set whoever has the confidence to tell me.
Okay. Any other setters?
I don't know if Genevieve's on here, but I have definitely told her to set me the ball before.
Okay. Have you told them after you've made an error? Have you made a mistake and you're like, set me again?
Yeah, probably more like in practice. I mean, I probably have in games like a couple times, but more in practice. Like whenever I make a mistake, I want to get set again so I can like make sure I get that mistake out of the way and I can like work on that.
Okay. All right. So I think we've established like maybe a couple of roles that are needed on a team. Anyone think of another role that a team has to have? So we've gotten like the rock, we've gotten the encourager, we've gotten the killer, maybe need a better phrase for that. But is there something else that a team has to have that maybe is on your team and you have an example of that, or is not on your team and you have an example of that?
I don't know if it's on my team, but I feel like there has to be that person that like says like, okay, this is what we need to do. Like we need to pull together, like the not serious, but like the one that's like more competitive and is like, okay, we really need to do this and like focuses on like what that we need to do right at this second.
Oh yeah, like that person who's always like, all right guys, like we got it. Like you have to do this. We have to, you know, fix certain things like in the game.
So like you said, competitive player, but you just want someone to bring the team together and goes, okay, right now we need us to be blank. We need us to be energetic. We need us to be really disciplined or whatever.
So
Yeah?
kind of like that coach on the court.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Okay. And how many people on their team think that they're that kid on their team?
Me.
Yeah. Yeah, I do that.
Who?
Me.
Okay.
From time to time. Not like, I wouldn't say like it's not consistent, but it's, you know, I feel like sometimes other people will step in, but a lot of times, like, I like to be like, oh, well, we need to do this. So, like, if we go on to the next side, I'd be like, hey, guys, we just need to calm down. We'll be fine. Or if someone messes up, I'll be like, hey, just fix this and you got it. Like, you know, like trying to, like, help them in a positive way so that if I'm trying to, like, say, hey, like, get your swing high or something, like, it doesn't sound like I'm being mean, just trying to, like, help because I can see them better than they can.
Yeah, for
Type
sure.
of thing.
Okay,
I feel
good.
like
ahead.
that. Like, I mean, it may not always be like the nicest way too, because like sometimes if we're losing a game and I'm getting frustrated, like I'll turn to my team. I'll be like, "Come on, like we can't let these balls keep dropping or something like that," and just like making sure we know what we can and can't do, like not just giving up hope on every ball. Like we can't just do that kind of thing.
Yeah. Riley, do you have something or just unmic for something? Okay, so that's 4 roles that I think we've defined here. We've got the encourager, we got the person who brings people together, we got the killer. I like to call the killer the thug. And I forgot the last one.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
The thug. So like I think it's really important that all teams have those players. I do agree with you guys that at any given point, any one person can be that person, but I think there's a consistency too, where we always know that Iris is going to bring blank or Mason's going to do this in this area. So, you know, next time we get the court, take on these personalities. You know, all these teams need them. And if you find that your team in a given practice or in a given game or in a given tournament or a given month, even if your team needs something, it's up to someone to provide that for the entire team's benefit. You know, whether you're comfortable with it or not comfortable with it, being on the court is a really good opportunity to have this energy or have this personality that may not be totally you all the time. Does that make sense? Yeah. And, you know, so you guys can bring that. So if you're looking around the court and you're like, man, we're not hustling after balls, or we're not really consistent in our passes right now. I think it's really easy and almost expected that someone, that leader on the court, turns around and goes, okay, we got this, guys. We got it. We're just going to have a great pass this, you know what I mean? So encourage you to find that personality that you think you can bring on your team and really start to exhibit that over a period of time. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, that's such good information. You know, I hope you guys really tune into what he's talking about today, because, you know, as you go further into volleyball, there's more and more good players. And if you look at like the Division I schools, there's typically 4 to 6 libero defensive players and 3 setters and 4 middles. And so it's like, how do you distinguish yourself among players that are relatively similar to you in level? It really comes down to these small areas of contribution. You know, can you be the thug on the team, the girl that's just going to like find a way to get some points and, you know, throw down? Or are you going to be the person that makes everybody feel good and makes everybody play better? So, man, this is just like such valuable information. So thank you, Dak.
All right, cool. Thank you guys
before everybody gets off the call, I wanted to kind of make a little video of everybody with their video on, just waving and saying like, thank you, Dak. Could you guys all do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we say something other than thank you, Dak?
Oh, I look great.
Oh my God.
Who cares, dude? Nobody's going to be able to tell. You're too far away.
Gracie!
Cool.
Okay, so let's, what do you guys want to say? We could say Forza1 experience. We'll do a couple different ones.
Hold on.
Okay, so let's say Forza1 experience. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Forza1
experience.
that was terrible. All right.
I'd give that about a C. That's a C
Should we
minus.
try again?
Let's say thank you, Dak. Let's say thank you, Dak.
Yeah.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Dad.
Dak.
Okay, that was awesome. Okay, now like do something in your screen like thank you, Forza, something like that. Okay. Okay, ready, go.
Thank you, Forza.
Oh my god, that's so awesome. Okay, I have to switch to the other group. Wait, hold on. Okay, I think I have only the same people on here. That's all right. Okay, what else? You guys come up with something. What would be good to say? You guys are much better than we are. How about we love volleyball?
Yeah,
That's
cute.
accurate information.
How about we miss volleyball?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. Okay, ready and go.
We miss
We miss
volleyball.
volleyball.
You guys, you have to have more enthusiasm.
That's awkward to say.
Yeah, that's like
Yes.
it's weird. Like
It's easier when we're saying thank you or we're
No,
happy.
what's weird is that we're not in the gym.
Yeah.
Okay, well maybe we
I'm wearing
need
a
to stand
Forza
up and be
sweatshirt.
like, we miss volleyball, something like that.
like awkward to say like in a happy tone because it's not like a
I know.
Okay, do you guys want to try it or you guys want to stand up and do it?
Okay, yeah, let's try it.
I'm in.
Let's pretend my room is clean for a sec.
me too.
Pretend it's not bright blue.
Oh my god.
Okay, and just keep saying just keep saying over and over like we love volleyball, we miss volleyball, something like that. Okay? All right.
Okay.
Ready and go.
We
love
miss
volleyball!
volleyball.
We love it.
I totally missed it. I'm sorry. We totally missed it. We have to do one more time. Okay. All right, ready, set, go.
We miss
volleyball.
All right, well, we are going to come up with some good ideas, but awesome job being on the call today. You guys liking our volleyball experience we put together for you?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Looks like you guys have decorated your rooms. There's a lot of cool pictures in some of your rooms. That's so neat. Like people actually print photographs now, I guess. You guys print photographs?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, well, Dak, I guess we're done, right?
Yep, we're done.